Hello, hello, hello. Oh, God, I'm being boring today, aren't I? It's a day off, so I'm walkie-talkieing. And the reason I do this, I just remembered. I had a lovely lady send me a little message saying that she has health challenges at the moment, and so can't get out and can't walk around, and lots of people can't due to the quarantine and lockdown as well. And so in a way she felt sort of vicariously she could feel the atmosphere and walk with me. And that's the reason I do this, that whether you agree with my opinions or not, or whether you like me or not, it's none of my business. I can't control that. I can only do what I do. And if someone enjoys walking with me, then just that one comment was so lovely to hear. And it's worth it, right? That lots of people don't want to walkie-talkie with me, and that's okay. They don't have to watch me, right? I don't watch them. So, and if someone does feel that they're kind of experiencing it with me and just having a walk with a mate down a road, then that's good enough for me. And at the moment, there are so many people struggling on their own. You know, when I think about this last year, I feel, especially in this country, that we'll only be really able to see the fallout or the effect of what's happened over the next couple of years when things start up again. And for a start, our younger generation, we're older. It's we can deal with it. But for our younger people who, it's their time to have gone into university and their grades weren't accurate, they were worked out in a different way due to the pandemic, or and so certain people got through to the universities they wanted, certain people didn't. And then once they got to university, their parents, still had to pay the full amount for this university, but yet the young people were kept indoors and did 99% of their tutoring online. And when you go away to university or to college or wherever you're going, could be a work placement, anything, at that tender age, 17 to 20-ish, you are learning who you are, right? You're blossoming from one thing, separating from your parents, cutting that umbilical cord just that little bit more, and figuring out who you are in the world. And I know that, when I went to drama school at 19, it was the best time of my life. I was very shy at school, went to a convent school, hated it, and wasn't good at anything. And I remember in those days, I think it was like in the 80s or early 90s or something, you had to choose options. Does anyone ever remember this? That you were sort of sat down, I think when you're about 15, and you had to discuss your options. And in those days, options for women were librarian, hairdresser, beautician. That was pretty much all that you had. And I was like, well, I won't be good at any of those. I don't want to do any of those. So there's no options for me. And there was no options. And I remember a girl above me, she went to drama school. She went to Guildhall. And I was like, oh, God, I'd love to. I'll never get that. And then a couple of years later, I was there at Central School of Speech and Drama. And it was the first time in my life I'd ever felt like myself. And it was like someone had just unlocked the door. And all of this stuff just came out. And, we started to focus on all these things that we had to build for an acting career. And I just became alive. And to know that young people aren't going to be having that, or they've missed out on that, the parties, the people, the socializing, the social aspect of going away to university is incredible. And even if a young person feels that they don't want to they don't want to study, they want to go straight into work, it's such an important part of figuring yourself out, those times. Oh my God, the fun of being away from home and finding that grotty place you're going to live with people, and then you do things wrong, you do things right, you discover things, and you're going out all the time and you're studying, and your brain just is like litmus paper. It's incredible. And so I feel so sorry for the young people that aren't going to be able to experience that, and I only hope that they will be able to in the next year. On the other end of the spectrum, older people, older people are so at risk. And when you're in your 80s, even now, for me, every single moment counts. And if a moment is taken away, it's so upsetting, because at the end of the day, when you think about it, we're all living on borrowed time, and we have to make the most of that time, right? And so older people, being in one flat, one property, one room, and not having seen anyone for a year, and when you're an older person, we really in this country need more resources for the mental health sector anyway, but for older people, to have so much contact cut off, and less friends, less family, less ability to be able to go out and engage with the world is catastrophic. And I really feel strongly that we need to help older people so much more. The older people cannot be just locked away and forgotten. So much is to be learned from a person older than oneself, and so for older people over the last year, who sort of sit in four walls, unable to go out or unable to have that contact, and having less ability to do things online, and no one there to teach them. And it's, especially in this country, it's so terribly sad. So if there's an older person around you, go and check if they're okay. I'm sure everyone does. Have they got food? Are they okay in their mental health? And I think we're all struggling now in our mental health. We're not designed to be lone creatures. We're designed to be social beings. And for enjoyment, satisfaction, enthusiasm, for love, all these things that are highly underrated, that we never really talk about, that to have fun, to laugh, when you have that really good laugh. And when you're at school, when you're younger, you used to do it all the time. Remember that the more you're not allowed to laugh, you have to laugh, right? And you're laughing and you're crying. And I've had some incredible moments on stage like that. It's very, very dangerous, because once I go, I just feel like someone's following me down this road. Once I go on stage, that's it. I'm gone. All you see is this quaking, quivering mess. So I cannot look people in the eye who have got that twinkle. I have to look straight past them on stage, and I get very, very serious. I go the other end of the spectrum. I have to not even be light-hearted. I have to be completely focused, very, very serious. So when I work, I'm very, very serious. And that's because I don't want to break apart laughing and ruin everything. So that laughter just changes how you feel. It's such a tension reliever, I guess, a bit like sex or crying or anything. It allows your body to relax more, works out your facial muscles more, which I obviously don't have any of, because I can't pronounce any words, obviously, at the moment. And so now, as we come out of this lockdown in the UK, or the rest of the world, as we start to try and rebuild our lives again, I guess what we have learned is to be resourceful. And I hope that we can start to laugh again, and look after people again, and be content. Even for a minute of the day, be content. And the more content we are, the more we can then focus ourselves on people that do need our help. It's like putting on your oxygen mask first, right? So that you can help other people. Once we feel better in ourselves, we have many more resources to go out and help other people. Because at the end of the day, you can't take it with you. You have one life, depending on what you believe. You do the best you can. You put one foot in front of the other. You try and help people along the way, and you try and make good decisions. You try and keep your side of the street clean. And if you do that, and you follow that path, you've got a better chance of leaving a better legacy and helping the people around you, and helping younger people to, develop good skills to live their life. And that's all you leave, really, isn't it? Unless you're a very, very famous person, and then you leave incredible art or whatever. And this is my rambling on today, but I see so many videos about, and we do so many videos about what is wrong and the problems. And as older people, we got to be really careful to not slip into that misery, which is so easy. You know, my back hurts, my body hurts all the time, but I don't want to be a person who, you know, can only talk about that, because misery does love company, and it's very easy to then get on that track, and it gets worse and worse and worse. That's not to say that we should ever look over things and we can't talk about things and we get emotionally shut down, but I know that yes, I'm in pain, and yes, I find things difficult, and you know, yes, the last year has been really, really hard, but I would love to continue to just inspire people. Not inspire people in a massive way, just inspire people, whether that to be go and take a 5-minute walk, do a little stretch in your chair, that there is hope for a different state of being. And it's that different state of being that we're all, I guess, trying to search for, to feel a little bit better. And in this day and age, I've got to swap arms. The easiest way, of course, is through, you know, drugs, alcohol, anything else, because it chemically changes you. And it's ironic, isn't it, that for the first time in, you know, in our evolution, we are going back to, you know, all yoga, massive explosion of yoga, more spiritual, physical expressions, more sort of spiritual exercise, but yet we're the most medicated we've ever been, probably. And I can see why. It's because we're all looking to feel better. Of course we want to feel better. But I just wonder, it's not the right way, is it? There are other ways to feel better. And as human beings, that comes from connection. It comes from how we affect others and how others affect us. Good and bad, hopefully good. And we haven't had that, you know, when you're locked away. And so hopefully when we start coming out of this and we start socializing with people again, physically, you know, face to face, we will feel better about ourselves. You know, YouTube started off as a hobby for me, and that's what I wanted to do. And I find it very therapeutic, and I like throwing ideas around and just, you know, to do that. And hopefully someone will write back and say, yeah, I enjoyed that, it made me feel better, or I enjoyed walking with you, or I enjoyed that little yoga video, or I enjoyed your impressions, or anything like that. But it was kind of ruined when the trolls came along. They intentionally ruined my channel and, you know, wanted to get me off YouTube and, you know, said so. And so they did succeed in ruining my channel. And I've kind of accepted that, and that's why I don't do that much anymore, and I've kind of had to step back from all the drama. And to watch all the drama now from a distance, it's interesting. It's pointless, but interesting. It's never going to go away, the drama in this community. We're never going to be free of the people that just keep lighting the fire. But there are still some amazing people on here who are trying to do good, and they tend to be, you know, the more quieter ones, the ones who are just a little bit more gentle, a little bit more softly spoken. We've lost, you know, they've been sort of hounded out of the community, and it's such a shame, because we have to have a diverse community to make it work. We can't just have one voice. And I was kind of hounded away, even though I'm not, you know, soft-spoken. I was hounded out of the community by various different people, and so I'm just on the sidelines now. It doesn't mean I've been hounded off YouTube, because I have different things, but from this community to look in again, it's just constant cog of negative gossip and people turning on each other. It's like a snake pit, and certain people enjoy that, and you can tell which ones, right? Certain people feel good, maybe it's their drug, feel good watching other people suffering, or watching other people arguing, or people talking about them. I didn't enjoy any of that. I don't. I'm quite a confrontational person in my own life, but that's with people I know. I'm not confrontational with people I don't know, and I don't want to be. I don't know them. I don't find it interesting at all. And I don't find channels, regardless of whether they've got loads of subs or not, I don't find channels that are all about the drama interesting. It doesn't interest me. I find it very negative, and everything that I've just said, it completely slices through any sense of well-being at all for me. And from what I see in others as well, that they will get eaten up and spat out by this community. It's a hard community full of very hard people. And I say, I'm not talking about everyone, but very, very hard people in this community. And so the who presume that everyone is just as hard and hardy and in it for different reasons. Some of us aren't, and we were kind of hounded out because we were presumed to be a certain way and we're just not. So we've chosen to go a different way, and I still support those lovely women, and Kelly, Mary, and others. And I just wonder if now, have we become the very thing that we were trying to expose in the first place as being so destructive in this community? Have we become that? When I look now, have we slipped into this world of being like AD? It's a question. I can't see why this drama is exciting. Please tell me, anyone, if you find it is. I don't find the tit for tat, and she said this and they said this and we got the screenshot here, and then let's go back over this chat on this live. And lives have a lot to answer for. These lives I'm not sure I agree with. You've got to be a great, strong creator and a very strong person to contain and control your own life. You've got to have a great team around you, but you as a creator have to control that life, and that's what Bam is great at. Whether you agree with her or not, she is a strong opinion that she sticks by. There's never any wasted space on the airwaves, right? She has a strong team about her. Her subjects are interesting. She doesn't take any rubbish. She won't let people dissuade from her live. And so it really, really works. Some lives, not so much, because it just is an excuse for anyone to come in and say anything. And once it's there, it's there. It's live. You can't take it back. You can't edit it. You can't, it's there. And it's problematic, and it's created a lot of problems for this community, because people are then going, but you said this and you said that and you said this, and and it's all picked up and recorded and listened to and used as some kind of evidence, or some kind of courtroom scenario for people. It's very dangerous, these lives, and I just wonder why people are still fighting, and people who used to be friends. And is it worth it? Is it worth making a video about you said this, and then the other person saying, well, you said that, and then you said this, and then you said that, and then they said this? I don't know to what end it works. I feel that if there's an issue, that it should be in a way contained and worked out between these people with help, maybe. But at the moment, I feel, that it's a really negative place, and that's on top of the zombies and the harassment that I had. It's a really horrible place. It's sort of like turned into your own head, a place you shouldn't go to alone. But let me know how you feel about the way things are, and do you feel that in a way AD set a precedent in terms of what behaviour is acceptable, and we've all sunk to that low level? And let me know what you feel would be a something that could take this community, this part of it, out of this quagmire. What's the answer? Have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching.